This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
This is my after hours viewpoints on the World Cup, and not in any particular order, but on the eve of the World Cup final, I just thought, now would be the time just to give an audio piece about what I feel about the World Cup and the way it's gone from a quasi-media personnel and a fan of the game, and obviously a player of the game. I played at a high level too. But at the heart of it all, just like you listening right now, we're all fans of the game. We're all in love with this game for various different reasons. And when we just look at the face value of this World Cup as it looks right now, it's a fantastic situation that we have the confederations. There's one thing you got to give to FIFA. They have to work with confederations, which brings in the whole of the world. And when you see what this World Cup especially gave us by including the whole of the world in this World Cup, I mean, as we got through to the nitty-gritty of the World Cup, you started to see teams like Morocco after their group phase, and they literally lit it up in their group of F, which I said right before the group phase began. I said that was the group of death, and people said, really? You think so? No. I think this. No, Steve, not a chance. And eventually, when it all comes to settle, Group F for Croatia, Belgium, two big teams, and then Morocco and Canada, two little teams. Morocco, Canada, two little teams. And who went through? A little team and a big team. But it wasn't a little team and a big team. In actual fact, it was two big teams, but one team that we'd absolutely fall head over heels in love with, and that was Morocco, who went through with Croatia. It was a fantastic performance by Morocco, and we knew Croatia were going to go really into the far reaches of the tournament. That was like a given. The finalists of 2018 had, unfinished business, and they had a motivation to go far, and I commend Croatia, man. I mean, really, to a person in and around that team. Wow. For such a quasi-numerically small nation, they are a giant in football, and have been for quite some time. And I've loved everything. Literally loved everything about Croatia and what they've done at World Cup football for more than one World Cup. So I expect more in the future. Then you look at Belgium, an absolute flop of flops. Didn't do anything in the group. Arrogance, call it what you will. Is it bad coaching? I mean, apparently Roberto Martinez was pouted and spouted years ago as being an absolute fantastic coach. And that was Dave Whelan. Many years ago, back in the days when Dave Whelan was the owner of Wigan Athletic, who were then in the Premiership. And Roberto did a good job. Literally, he did a good job. Also won the FA Cup. So there you go. But do you think that a national team coach is worth just winning an FA Cup? Because that's the reality I throw at that. And when you look at the talent that Belgium's had in the last decade, a coach with a mega winning mentality, I firmly believe would have made Belgium one or two things, either or, vice versa. They would have either been a European champion and a mega European champion, or once a world champion. That's what a big coach would have done for them. So when you talk about Roberto Martinez as the manager of Belgium, when he was hired, it was off the back of big things and winning FA Cups and yada yada yada. Keeping a team in the Premier League is no reason to get a coaching job at the national level. Winning an FA Cup is also no reason. It's only a handful of games, the FA Cup. Why would you want to hire a national coach based upon a handful of games? I mean, do the maths. You know, it's it's not logical in my book. So when I do the hiring and firing, I look at really sort of I need high numbers, and I need a winning mentality, and I need a winning record. And if you've got a winning record, you can do it. But anyway, moving on. Morocco, absolute delight of the tournament, absolutely fantastic. Fell in love with them, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, when I was talking to Ryan Anderson at the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, I said, for me, Romain Saiss is a big worry, and I think these guys are going to run out of gas, and you know, it's just the fairy tales coming to an end, and that's their ceiling, and in actual fact, that's what it was. But I tell you what, Morocco, I don't care who wins the World Cup. For me, Morocco is the team of the World Cup. And I really hope that it spreads a lot of good love and a lot of goodwill, because obviously Morocco, being where they are located, North Africa, and very close to Southern Europe, you know, I just hope there's a lot of love spread around because of Morocco. Because I just have absolutely had more fun with Morocco than any team at a World Cup in quite a few World Cups. And that might sound crazy, but I got to tell you, really, Morocco fans, you guys were an absolute delight. We got pictures down below. Like, if you guys want to search the videos down below, there's videos of fans and videos. There's a video that we released recently of pictures and videos. Check that one out. You'll see Morocco fans. You'll see the stadium, especially when Hakimi puts in the penalty. And I mean, once he puts in the penalty, I want you to look at something, because I laugh every time. But once Hakimi puts the winning penalty in versus España, he runs to the side of the net and does a little shimmy, like left, right, left, right, left, right. And if you can get the video to see it up close, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's absolutely freaking hilarious. And then he runs away from the goal, and then he sees the team coming at him. Then he changes direction, and he runs away. And it's just a fantastic scene. So Morocco have been the fantastic team of the tournament. Been absolutely in love with them. And as we get ready for what will be the end of the final, you know, have we had any major shocks? We had big-time shocks. Go through the numbers. We had 10 upsets in the World Cup in the group phase, okay? 10 upsets. And then we had 11 upsets with Morocco over Spain. And let's be honest, it wasn't an upset. It was not an upset. If you keep passing the ball sideways and you're doing this chess soccer, like tick-a-taka, tick-a-taka, tick-a-taka to nowhere, well, hey, I'm quite happy to see that end up with you losing against a team that wants to work their asses off defensively and seize their opportunities when they get them on very sparse counter-attacks. But when those counter-attacks happened, Morocco, statistically, were quite deadly. So, what do I want to see in football? I'd love to see the end of this chess ticky-tacky garbage crap. And I'd like to see us getting back to maybe the long balls and the wingers and people taking on a man and beating the guy and then going through another man, which in today's games means you just broke through 2 lines and you're about to score. Because today's tactics, I tell you what, honestly, I'm not being sideways, but with the intelligence and the knowledge that I've gathered over years of playing at a very high level and watching at a very high level, commentating at a high level, broadcasting at a high level, and being on TV, radio, yada, 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 you get to see things. You get to know things. You get to feel things. You get to know the ball moving through the air, how it feels. When you strike it with the outside of your foot, ding, you know exactly it's coming in off the post. These little things you pick up when you're a psychopath of the game, which is what I am. Look up psychopath. It's not a bad word. It's a good thing. Well, that's what soccer is for me. I have a degree in psychopathy in soccer. Have a laugh at that. Obviously, I'm kidding, obviously. But when you feel the ball move through the air like I do, and you can see it, and you write your touchline at professional games like I am regular, you get to feel how the ball moves, and you know who's diving, you know who's simulating, you know who just kicked you for a reason, because it's like a rebounder, it's like got you back. You see everything as it happens. And just like this World Cup, we all got to see everything as it happened. It was an absolute magnificent World Cup. The final, Argentina taking on La France, reigning champions. And very shortly, we'll get to see who won that game. But irrelevant of who won the game, the World Cup itself on the field was an absolute marvel. Exquisite. Fantastique. Wunderbar. You could call it what you want, you know, like increíble is a word I'd use for this World Cup. Absolutely increíble, because this Copa Mundial was absolutely increíble, and I think that incredible is the word you want to hoist in with that one, because the goals we saw, the results we saw, the upsets we saw, it was wonderful because everybody was playing the same tactics and everybody got to do the same things, and eventually that's when you see upsets. When you set the stakes even, that's when you see a Morocco-Spain, where Spain get embarrassed by a harder working, more eager, wearing their shirts and their badge on their sleeve and playing for their hearts like Morocco did over Spain. No disrespect Spain, but Morocco wanted it more. And then when you look at that, how Holland went out of the World Cup, just close. I mean, you know, it's little margins. It's not getting that winning goal. It's not getting that penalty kick. It's the little margins. And eventually, if you don't get the margins, you go out. England going out to France, predicted here. Told you. Quarterfinals, Endstation. Nicht mehr weiter. England sind raus. I told you. Les Bleus would do England and move to the semis and on to the finale, and they're looking to repeat. And that's what I'm saying. They're looking to repeat. But England didn't have a chance. Why? The mentality is all wrong. Look at Harry Kane on that final penalty. There's no way he should have been taking that penalty. Too much stress for one guy. He was having a meltdown. An absolute bloody meltdown. Go back and look at the video, if you can, of Harry Kane on the second video. And then look at the video with Harry Kane on the first penalty. Okay, so there's two penalty shots he took, right? You know that. Look at the first video when he took a penalty. Look at the second video when he took a penalty. Look at the frickin' difference. You could see, I'm going to use a word here, you could see he was shitting his pants. He was absolutely shitting his pants. A good coach would have seen that, but a proper coach would have said, you know what, no. Harry, no, out of there, son, out of there. You've had a penalty. No, not having another one. Someone else. A proper coach would have put someone else up there. And I tell you what, Mason Mount would have been the guy to go for it. Second one, Mason, he would have done it. Mason Mount or possibly Bellingham. But you don't do the same guy twice. That's too much pressure at the same station. Look, be lucky that he got the first one right. That's it, done. Don't overload the guy. Bad coaching, end of. And who lost on penalties in '96? Gareth Southgate. Whose team lost in penalties in 2022, the Euro final? Gareth Southgate. Whose team went out because a guy missed a penalty? Who was the coach? Gareth Southgate. What were all three correlations? Penalty kicks? Was that right? Yeah, right. Fire the fucking coach. Obviously, should have put a bit of a warning there, but that one just came out. Sorry, guys. But I guess I'm just being really honest. And this is after hours especially, so it's after hours. It's only one F-bomb. You'll probably never get another one. So just be lucky it is. But like I say, it's after hours. The World Cup, though. Canada, you guys, me guys, us guys. Canada, east to west. We've got the CPL coming up soon. Don't forget that. I love the CPL, Canadian Premier League. Come on, you Cavs. You know I'm located near Calgary, so that's my team. Give me some grief. fifascup@gmail.com. Come on, give us some. fifascup@gmail.com. This is a after hours show. After hours. Come on, you lovelies. Give it to me. It's fifascup@gmail.com. Yes. Send me some. Come on. Do it. Canadian League's coming. Let's have some. It's at the station. You know it. Listen to this anytime you like. But carry on with the World Cup. Canada's viewpoint. Okay. First game. Belgium lost. Second game. Croatia lost. Third game. Another loss. Hey, I tell you what. I think that there was things in those games that we did really well. I don't think we need to be down. And I think that there's a group standing at theultimatesoccershow.com online, and if you go check that out, you'll see there's a group picture way down low on the front page, and that was a quick hard view look at what I thought about that group. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it up there for 4 years. Yep, 4 years. Because you know what? If you got a big mouth, you better stand behind it. You want to predict stuff, shut your face, give me some evidence, do it. I'm not interested in your big mouth. I want to see what you got, is what the people say. And they're right. So, a couple of people have said, oh no, you're just a big mouth. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. You got to take the pressure, right? So, here's the deal. That picture's up there 4 years. That's what I saw before the World Cup. Where we're concerned, I think you've got to give me some credit. Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that one. But for the World Cup, listen, we're in the next one, 2026. We've got everything to live for and everything to look forward for because we're going to be 4 years older. These guys have got 4 years now. At the nucleus of our team that's playing big in Europe or big MLS, but especially big in Europe as well because they get to see a little bit more. They get to see Champions League, they get to see Europa League, a bit more variations, travel, you know, a bit more sort of technique and a bit more style, a bit more play and arduous sort of situations to go through, and they live more and they learn more, they get more experience, they become more accomplished. They also sometimes get a little bit freaking lazy because they get so arrogant because they've seen so much stuff. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I don't need to do that. It's like, yes, you do need to do that every day, and you need to be a consummate professional. Live every day like it's your last day in training. Otherwise, it might be your last day in training and it just went by. Boom. But in 4 years' time, 2026, I do think there's a chance we could have Johnny Herdman still with us. What we look like by then will be very different to now. But I think if you listen to our track record of what we've had recently over the last 18 months, forget about the 3 losses at the World Cup. That was reality. Check the group at theultimatesoccershow.com front page. Down below, you'll see what I meant. But moving forward, we've got 3.5 years. It's December now. World Cup comes up, 2026, and it's summertime. Well, it's 2022 now, and it's wintertime. So it's like 2023 is very shortly. So it's only 3.5 years away. So it's the shortest ever gap we've ever had between World Cups is the World Cup from now to Canada's World Cup. And I'm calling it Canada's World Cup because I want to. But no, it's really Canada, America, and Mexico. So sorry, I'm just being a joker. But love to America, love to Mexico, and love to Canada as well. But it's going to be a trio of hosts for the World Cup. But moving to that one, Canada is going to be a much better team. Don't be hung up about FIFA ranking. Like we're 41 at the moment. Don't get hung up about that. I mean, that can fluctuate. But I think that moving forward, I think that America and Canada are possibly going to be the two biggest teams moving forward. And I can see this really now for probably the next 2 to 6 years. I think America and the USA are going to be the two big teams in CONCACAF. Then, obviously, Mexico's in there. But I tell you what, from what I've seen from how the USA's team is building and how Canada's team's building, I think these two teams are going to be like... I think these two teams are going to do damage at the 2026 World Cup. I think both the USA and Canada, for me, are round of 16 teams, guaranteed. That's a prediction right now. USA and Canada, round of 16s. Round of 16s, round of 16 team, each of them, the USA and Canada, at the 2026 World Cup. I guarantee you that. That's what I'm seeing. Mexico, it could happen for Mexico too, but I tell you what, for some reason, the way things are stacking up and building, I think the USA and Canada have got the two top teams in CONCACAF in the next 2 to 6 years, which means the next World Cup and the next two Gold Cups. So I think that you might see the USA and Canada prediction contesting Gold Cups in the next two Gold Cups, and that they'll both be in the round of 16 in 2026. That's a prediction. Write it down and let's see where we go, because I'm writing that down. Prediction. Right? So there you go. But as we're shutting this down, because it's 20 odd minutes long, it's been a fantastic World Cup. We've had loads of upsets. It's been great for the politics, because it was started off with stupid politics and it went dead. Then it settled for the football, and we had magic football, loads of upsets, loads of fast football, loads of goals. Probably the best World Cup ever. I'll tell you that for a fact. That's what I'm saying. Drop a comment down below, guys. You know what to do, poets. But if you thought this was the best World Cup ever, then drop a comment down below. If you thought it wasn't, well, then you know what to do. But I really think since 1974, that was the first World Cup that I saw as a young lad. Okay, I was a young lad, and Johan Cruyff and his wonderful Dutch accent on camera. For some reason, I was captivated by him. I didn't know he was the magical talent and the gifted player, but bloody hell, I was absolutely in love with Johan Cruyff as a kid, and every time he was on camera, I didn't hear anything else but his voice. Literally, it was like nothing else moved. Time stood still, just Johan and his voice and what he said, and yeah, and didn't Holland play fantastic football? Man alive. 3 finals, no wins. It's an absolute freaking crime. But this World Cup definitely has been the best World Cup I've ever seen since 1974. 11 World Cups. It's been wonderful. It's been absolutely bloody wonderful. I think to beat this World Cup, I'd have to sit and think a long while how to beat it. I think you'd have to put it in a different place, number one. You'd have to keep it to the group structure, number two. Don't take it to 48 teams. That's an absolute asinine idea. Keep the 32 teams. It's the perfect number based upon what you've seen now. How can you argue that it just makes no sense. If you put another 16 teams into this World Cup as a World Cup finals, all you just did was absolutely dilute the product, what you just saw. Do you want to dilute what you just saw by adding 16 no-name bloody teams? It's the World Cup. And that's why it's called the World Cup. Because it's the toughest thing to win in 7 games. Why should you incorporate the weakest of the weakest teams just because you can? Stop diluting the brew, Mr. Infantino. 32 teams is the perfect number. And you're lucky that it went so well in Qatar as it did on the field. Because it's on the field that saved your ass. So, Mr. Infantino, that saved your ass was 32 teams. You might want to ponder that thought. Okay, guys, hope you loved this audio. Drop a comment down below. And get ready. Premier League's coming. Canadian Premier League's coming. Well, let's put it this way. The English Premier League starts on the 26th, which is Boxing Day. We're going to release a video on the 24th. And the Premier League goes all the way through till May. Now, the Canadian Premier League, we're going to cover that again like we did last year. Absolutely. I will be going to Cavalry games, part of the media at the games, doing the games, and get you all that information back to you too, because I love talking pro soccer. And Cavalry FC treat me absolutely beautifully. And then we'll be getting into Nations League 2023, and also the Gold Cup's coming in 2023. And before the new year, I will be giving you a predictions show of 2023. Okay, guys, there's your audio. Happy, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I love all of you totally. Thank you so much for all the subscribers and all you guys that recently did subscribe. Thank you so much, guys, too. But listen, guys, have a fantastic and safe Christmas and festive season. And for those who have a hard time at it, I can understand that. But you know what?
The ultimate
be with each other and be friends with each other. Love each other.
Everybody does.
And just have a